is up, fellow Stitchers? I'm Jules. Thank you for coming back for another update. It is the 1st of June. How did that happen? I do not know. Time is just going by really fast. And today I wanted to share with you something I've never shared with you guys before. But it is my birthday today. And I wanted to do the video because I just kind of had stuff I needed to do. And I don't know, I had some energy. I wanted to do the video. So I actually turned 50 today. And I know I can't believe it either. I don't know. I mean, I kind of know where the 50 years went. I do remember them, and I've got all these reminders all over my hair and my head and my wrinkles and everything. But yeah, so I turned 50. There have been some recent changes in my life that I have not shared with you guys, and I'm not gonna fully share it with you as far as all the reasons around it. But I have had to semi-retire as a veterinarian, which I have been working as one for over 20 years, and some things kind of were coming up, and I really just needed a change. I needed a lot less stress in my life. So hubby and I got together, and yeah, it was basically a joint decision to say, you know, it's time to step back and you know, not do that anymore. And because I'm not doing that anymore, I'm actually now home and available to do this stuff more. I have actually been home for the last 3-4 weeks now, I think, but it just hasn't been time to talk to you guys about it. I'm sure if you go back about a month ago and watch some of the videos that I did, you could tell how tired I was at that time and how unwell I felt. But regardless, things are going fine right now. We're working on stuff, working on making me feel better, and things are going really well. So, but since I have more time and I have been more productive as of late, and I really want to make, I've always said, for years I've said, whenever I get to a point where I can only do cross stitch stuff, I want to do a lot more cross stitch stuff. So towards that end, I will be doing, I'm going to hope to get up to maybe 2 videos a week here. The second video will probably just be like a little, what am I doing? Maybe a little short or something. I don't know, but I want to be a little bit more productive on the main YouTube channel. I've been designing a lot more. You'll see today I've got 7 patterns to show you, 7 new ones I'm working on. It's really great stuff that I'm like, I want to stitch this now. I also got a finish today to show you, a new start to show you. But the first thing that I wanted to get to is I have finally joined the ranks. I don't know why my voice wants to crack when I start doing videos, but it's probably because I'm 50. When back in my time, people had better voices. So anyway, so I have decided to join the ranks of Patreon. And in case you didn't know it, Patreon is sort of a platform for people who create as a way of bypassing some of the restrictions and things that places like YouTube and Facebook and whatnot kind of put on creators, but also making things a bit more private. I can put some of this behind sort of a subscription wall. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. Binky here was beginning to bark upstairs. She heard me doing the video, and she did not want me to do the video without her. Right, Dinkers? You're so touchy. All right, down you go. Run around, manage from down there. So anyway, Patreon is a way for me to be a little bit more private, but also talk more about what's going on. Nothing will change with YouTube. Everything will remain the same. But if you want to do, or if you want to see more behind the scenes stuff, me working on some patterns, like what I'm stitching, what I'm planning on designing, how I'm the method is secret, but just things like that. And then for the higher tiers, you get basically, as part of your membership, you'll get some digital patterns. So it actually, if you're somebody who gets my patterns, if you like my patterns a lot, you can save some money by joining the Patreon. I have a link below. No, please don't think by any means that it's anything that you have to do or need to do, but I would greatly appreciate it. And it is something that I definitely am pursuing and want to really make something of it. So, but again, YouTube, still here for you. What, 7 years? 7 years going strong? Something like that. 6-7 years. So, yeah, I've been busy today with a lot of that. What else is going on? So I have a finish. I had to write notes down. I used to write notes because I had so much to talk about. Today I had to write notes because I have so much to talk about. Oh, before I forget, I did get myself a little birthday gift because only I know really what I want. And so I got to show you first of all. See my cone of 310? Can you see through my cone of 310 now? Here, let's do it this way so I'm looking at the right thing. You see all the brown spots? It's basically this going through. And you see how thin? How thin is it? It's so thin. So I was like, when I realized this was happening, I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to get me another one. So I did. I got me another one. It just came in the mail today. But you see, look how much bigger. How much bigger. I'm going to get my big head to the side. But then look at it this way. Look how much I've used on all my projects. I mean, because I do a lot of 310. The monochromes, I use DMC 310. It's just what I'm used to. It's what I do. I know a lot of people do other things, but this is what I do. And what's better than a big old roll of black 310 DMC? 2 rolls of black DMC. If you do this, you really can't hear the ocean. Or it's just the empty space in my head. Anyway, so I got a good deal, so I got 2 of them. And I've got a lot of stitching to do. I've got a lot of black and whites to do, as you'll see today when I show you the new patterns. But that will take care of my needs for maybe a year. I don't know how long this one is. Does anybody know when I first got this? It's been many months. But I'm getting to the end of it. Faster than I realized sometimes. I would have been really sad if I had just simply run out. Because this has been so much nicer than using the skeins, because it's just nice to have one big, I'm not constantly messing up with skeins and stuff. All right, my finish. I finally finished Empire State Workers, people. 47,000 stitches. Here we go. Ta-da! So 47,000 stitches. And these gentlemen can now finish their own Empire State Building. But it came out really nice. I did not stitch sort of the sky above. In the pattern that I have on my Etsy store. I have an Etsy store, Stitching Jules Design. Okay, I should have said that right up front, but if I always forget. Oh, the other thing I always forget, and I got to mention it right now. I swear, my voice. I have an Instagram page. Who knew? I've had an Instagram page for like 2 months. I keep forgetting to tell you guys. But it's just Stitching Jules Design. I'll link to it down below with everything else. But I've just been trying to remember, because I'm not a social media person usually, trying to remember to put stuff up there, because I know I also have a Facebook page that I haven't looked at in like 4 months, and so I got to get on there and do that. If only I had time. Wait a minute, I have time now. I cannot say that I don't have time. I have time. All right, let's do it. All right, so here we go. All right, so this is a finish. I stayed up till like midnight the other night watching the Avs. Well, the Avs game was over like at 9 or 10 or something. But then I was on a stitchy roll, so I finished Empire State Workers. So this was a really, really long project. I am very glad it's done, to be honest with you, because now I can do other things. But I am super happy. My husband still thinks I should have done this on like a gray, but I mean, here's my thing with that. And I don't have nearly as much stitching experience as a lot of you do, and trust me on that. And because the reason why I say that is I'm a little hesitant to go and stitch on like anything beyond the Aida, the white Aida, because I like to grid. I like to grid very much, and I know that I can grid with like actual floss or fishing line or something like that, but I think part of my reticence to using those, even the color stuff that I have, is the fact that I'm just worried about making a mistake. It's going to take me a longer time. I guess I'm just kind of like, I just need to jump in and do it. But because my first project that I'm going to work on is actually the haunted house one. That's one that's going to be a new start in the near future, and that's going to be on that like burnt orange fabric that I got. But I worry about stitching on anything other than Aida, because it's just what I know, and I'm just trying to finish pieces. You know, this was my 13th. This is the 13th pattern that has been stitched. Most of them are not framed yet because I have another problem. I have what you call framing anxiety. I know that when I try to frame, I get very short-tempered and irritated. I don't feel like my stuff looks good. And I'm just, part of it is just, you know, knowledge is power. I need to learn a lot more about it. I've been watching videos like crazy, but, you know, I don't know. I just need to jump in and do it. I was going to do it today, but then I ended up doing other things, and maybe I'll do it tomorrow, or I could do it the next day. I can do it any day I want to, so I just need to do it. And then the next thing that's got to happen is they're heavy, so I got to get the hubs to bring them up. My display stands that I used for Nashville, I'm going to use them up here. I'm going to put a couple together, and that way I can take all the cross stitch stuff and actually bring it down into frame a lot better, and therefore, you know, be able to show so much more of all the stuff I finished, so that you guys, if you're watching me, you're like, oh, that's your stuff, rather than just kind of seeing the little bits and pieces here and there. So that's another goal. That's a lot. I gotta write these down so I remember. All right, so aside from my framing anxiety, got this done. I made some progress on sun worship this week. Here we go, sun worship. And mostly what I did, because I get, it's so hard to switch to this sometimes, because this is 18 count, 2/2, full cross stitch 2/2, and I've not been doing that for a while. I've been doing a lot of half stitches, so doing full cross stitches at times is, amusingly enough, kind of hard. And so, but I've been filling in a lot of the orange kind of between her arms, up and behind her head. So that was mostly sort of, I've been kind of trying to fill in a bit down here as we go. And I got a little bit more of the yellow down in there as well. But yeah, we're getting to a point where the colorful stuff is really going to start showing up soon. But it's just taking a little bit of time. Primarily, I did spend a lot of time getting Empire State Workers done this last couple weeks. So, but I got to, bada bing, bada boom, got to get that done. And then next up is a new start. So there are a lot of things that I could have started, but I decided to start working on the sea turtle. Can you see the sea turtle? Can you see him? His head is poking out. So I had this piece of fabric that's actually worked. This was supposed to be for something else, and I can't remember now what it was, but I'm like, yeah, I really want to do the sea turtle, because sea turtle seems to be pretty popular, and I want to see what it looks like. So I just started on it. It's only about 7,000-8,000 stitches, maybe more. Maybe a little more. So it technically could be done, like I could do this in a couple of weeks, but my goal is just to get more finishes. So some of these smaller projects that maybe I can do quicker, get them done and get them up on the wall behind me, so that people can see what I'm doing. So, because this is really where, like, I need to kind of kick it in gear with the store, in the business, so that I have the makings of a really good business. I just got to pull it all together. I got to tighten all those strings and whatnot. And so, anyway, so, but what I'm really excited about to show you guys today is all my new stuff that I've been working on, and then I've been just cranking out, because I've been working on this stuff for a while, and then finally, I was able to get stuff finished and up on the site. And there's different ones I want to show you, and they're all jumbled together because I made sure that I shuffled them all in various forms before I got up here. So I actually have a 7, 8, 9, I don't know, I can't count anymore. All right, so I got a couple, 2 colored ones with color, let's just say that. We've got Travel Rhode Island, which is a new kind of a travel poster. This is 150 by 200, full cross stitches. If you love Rhode Island, this is a good one. 27 colors for this one. Let me just hold it up here a little bit. And it was an animated. It was an illustrated poster, so that's why it sort of looks the way that it does. But I did lighten up the words and whatnot to it. But it's a nice little travel poster kind of thing. I do want to do some more of those. I've got Travel Pacific Northwest and a few others on the Etsy store. So check that out. And then I love this color. I love the colors on this one. So this one I call Moonlight African Woman. I know my titles are so exquisite, but very, very descriptive. So this one is 140 by 160, not full coverage. So the white part around the head and everything, that's whatever you want to stitch it on. But this originally had a lot more color to it all around, but I removed all of that so that we could spotlight her head, her face, and all the colors from the reflections of the moon off of various vegetation and whatnot. And so this can just be stitched on almost anything you want to, and it's just something that has come out really nice. 33 colors, again, 140 by 160. So I love it. I love the blue. I love the blue part of it. It's come out really nice. And people look at this and they think, you know, this, okay, so this is, you're using the image for, you're using your base image to show us what it's supposed to look like. This is actually the mocked stitch. When you're using, I use Wind Stitch, and when you're using Wind Stitch, there's a mock-up of what it is supposed to look like stitched. And that is where I take my images from to put on my covers. So this should look this good when you stitch it. Ladies and gentlemen, it should look that good. All right, there's those two. And then it's just all monochrome designs. I just went nuts. Monochrome this, monochrome that. All one color pieces. Doesn't matter what color you use. I use the DMC 310 because I got a lot of it. But y'all can use whatever color you want to on whatever color fabric that you want to. Those that are more meticulous and detailed and better stitchers than I am, because I'm not. I'm an average stitcher, maybe a slightly good stitcher, but I'm not a great stitcher. I've seen too many great stitchers out there. I'm not one of them. The first one is this sort of it's the Boston seal, the seal of the city of Boston, and so it's called Bostonia, and it's just sort of like, it's almost like an etching in a sense of what the seal was. It's total of 198 by 198. Again, not full coverage, because anything that's white is actually the color of your fabric. So if you wanted to stitch this on pink, green, you know, all kinds of hand-dyed stuff, go for it. It's going to leave that kind of vintage look to it. So there's Bostonia. Bostonia. All right. Now, forgot to look it up. One of you crazy people out there reached out to me this week on my Etsy store and said, I want a koala bear. Jules, give me a koala bear. And I said, well, actually, I've been working on a koala bear. Now, I don't know if this is for sure what you wanted, because I do have, I do want to put up like some black and white grayscale and in colored versions of some of my animal patterns that I have, and then you can select what you want. But for this one, this koala bear came out pretty nice. Look how cute the polar, I said polar bear. Koala bear. Look how koala bear looks. So if you zoom in, you can see it's just pixelated individual black stitches, but when you pull out, it looks like a koala bear. So this one is 276 by 206. I've been making some alterations in how I do my monochrome pictures, because in the past I probably would have said, you know what, I want to make this 280 by 210 because it's nice, even numbers, blah, blah, blah. It's easy. But when I do that, it actually distorts the picture just a little bit, and it takes away from the overall quality. It's like, if it's here, it just brings it down just a little bit, and you may not notice, but I notice, and I can't handle that. I just can't. So we're not going to have pretty numbers all the time, but when we can, we will. But for now, this one's 276 by 206. Sweet. So cute. So cute. Adding to my lineage of black and white animal. Do I have any more black and white animals? Let me look here. Okay, I have sort of an animated one. Well, animated, it's a hand-drawn, it's an owl. And I call this one the reading owl. And you'll see why. So this one's a little bigger. This one's 344 by 276. And when you, again, you can see the pixelation when you look at it. Now, the reason why it's bigger is that there's so much that level of detail in this that to make it smaller distorts this picture big time. I was like, I really want to cut this by like even 10% off of this. It resulted in, it just didn't look good. So if you want it to look like this, got to stitch it at this 344 by 276. So it's a nice one, and it would be a beautiful cross stitch pattern for many people out there. Everybody likes their books. Love their books. Let's see here. And then the last three are all sort of famous people, dignitaries, honored individuals from all around the world. First up, and I've been trying to do Abraham Lincoln for a while. I have a Lincoln Memorial one on the, it's more artistic. And I've been wanting to do a black and white Abraham Lincoln face, and I'm still trying to get that just right. I'm having a hard time getting it to look as good as I want it to. But I found this picture of the statue of Lincoln that sits in the Lincoln Memorial, you know, kind of right out front there behind all the columns. I found the right picture, and I was able to make this pattern. So if you like the statue and you just want to do the statue, this is 310 by 183. So kind of longish, but then not terribly tall. And it doesn't look tremendously like Lincoln because it's Lincoln statue, not Lincoln. Here, let's zoom in some more. Can you see that? And then you zoom back, and then it's this awesome picture. So, Lincoln statue. I'd like to be able to do other monuments. I would love to do the statue of like the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. That I need to work on. But even like, you know, I've had a couple different ideas about Congress, some more different things about the White House. It's all like, sometimes I get on a roll and I just kind of do a bunch of patterns, but there's a lot of steps to the patterns, and the hardest steps are the initial ones, which is where I'm trying to see if I can actually make a decent looking pattern out of it. And sometimes I'll get stuck at that point. I'll get stuck, push that one away, grab something else, and then I may not come back to that first pattern for weeks. You know, it's just, there's a lot that I can do. And but like I said, hopefully I'm gonna get more and more and more. The next one up, I'm pretty happy about this one. I took this one from a photo and kind of cut a lot of things around it. So this is one where, well, I mean, even with Lincoln, like if you wanted to do this on whatever color, you know, fabric, it will show through the whole thing. So, I mean, I would do it in white or like a gray, but you can do whatever you want to because it's yours. Once you buy it, it's yours. Do whatever you want. So Mother Teresa, there we go. There's Mother Teresa. She is 180 by 380. So she's fairly long. And there's a lot of stitching. She actually is holding her rosary beads down here, which I couldn't quite get that to be perfectly obvious, but that is what she's doing. And this is a picture from later in her life. I thought it would make a good, a really good cross-stitch pattern. So I hope you guys like it. But Mother Teresa, you don't see a lot of Mother Teresa patterns out there, but I'm sure there's some people that would love to stitch that and put that up on their wall. And then the last one, which I gotta say I'm kind of proud of this one too. I mean, I'm proud of all my stuff, but I really like this one. So in honor of Queen Elizabeth's Royal Jubilee, which I'm not perfect, I don't know that much about it, but I've been wanting to do a Queen Elizabeth pattern for quite some time, especially a monochrome pattern. So finally found the right picture. Let's see what you guys think of this one. This one came out so nice. Now I can zoom in for you so y'all can see. It looks kind of weird when you get super close, but again, the whole point is the effect that it gives it when you're looking at it from a distance. From a distance, it looks like a newspaper photo, or just a photo, period, which is what I'm shooting for. This one is 349 by 327, so almost a perfect square, pretty close. I have done some alterations in a few of the things, removed some extra bits and bobs that just did not add, really subtracted from the picture, but I'm really happy with how this one turned out. And I think I would like to stitch this one because this is one of those that I think would really be an eye catcher at shows and whatnot to have that one up. So, but there they go. There they all are. If I can actually talk. But that was a pretty full week. This is a really long video, but this is my 50th, or I like to say Bilbo Baggins, my 39th and 11th year, or 50, if you catch that reference. But yeah, so thank you guys. I mean, honestly, I'm very thankful and grateful that I have you guys to come to when, you know, the rest of my life is kind of up in the air, and not really sure where things are going to go for you know, to be perfectly honest, but taking some positive steps, doing some good things. And like I said, I would, you know, be honored if you would consider my Patreon. You don't have to join. Please don't. If you can't or don't want to, that's totally fine. But I'll leave a link down below for that if you're interested. And other than that, Hubs is going to be home soon. We're going to go out and we're going to get a milkshake from Sonic. Or I think I'm going to get a milkshake. I might get this Sunday. Probably get a milkshake. I'll have to go check. I can check out the flavors. All right. Y'all take care. And I'll see you soon. Happy stitching. And